In the early hours of June 29, 2025, Ukraine faced what officials are calling the most intense aerial attack since the beginning of Russia's full-scale invasion in February 2022. According to the Ukrainian Air Force, Russian forces launched a massive wave of attacks, 537 aerial weapons in total. That includes 477 drones and 60 missiles aimed across Ukrainian territory in a single, coordinated assault. The overnight barrage targeted cities across the country: Kyiv, Lviv, Kharkiv, Kherson, Poltava, Mykolaiv, Cherkasy, and more. The scope of the attacks stunned even experienced military analysts. Ukraine's air defenses responded with speed and intensity. Of the 60 missiles, 38 were successfully intercepted. 249 drones were shot down, and another 226 were brought down by electronic jamming systems, rendering them ineffective. That's nearly 90% of the total aerial threats neutralized. But even with such a strong defense, some attacks got through. Explosions ripped through critical infrastructure and residential neighborhoods. Fires broke out across multiple cities, including a significant blaze in the western city of Drohobych. Several civilians were reported killed or wounded, though the full extent of casualties is still being assessed. Among the night's most tragic losses was Ukrainian Air Force Lieutenant Colonel Maxim Ustimenko. The experienced F-16 pilot reportedly took down 7 enemy targets before his aircraft was hit. Ustimenko managed to steer his damaged jet away from populated areas, potentially saving many lives, but he was unable to eject in time and died in the crash. The Defense Ministry hailed him as a hero who gave his life protecting Ukrainian skies. President Volodymyr Zelensky responded swiftly, repeating Ukraine's urgent calls for more air defense systems from allies, specifically the US-made Patriot missile system. He stated bluntly, "We are ready to buy Patriots." At least 7 such systems are needed to shield major cities, according to Ukrainian officials. As of now, Ukraine only has 2. On the same day, Russia claimed to have seized control of the village of Novoukrainka in the Donetsk region. It was a small but symbolic gain amid what some analysts believe is the start of a summer ground offensive. Ukraine, meanwhile, launched counterattacks of its own, sending drones deep into Russian territory. Strikes hit areas in the Bryansk region, injuring several civilians and damaging infrastructure. Diplomatically, tensions remained high. The head of Russia's Foreign Intelligence Service confirmed a phone conversation with CIA Director William Burns, though details remain confidential. President Vladimir Putin, in an unusual statement, said he was open to reviving peace talks in Istanbul as long as they were based on previously agreed positions. However, most observers remain skeptical, citing ongoing escalation on the battlefield. In a controversial but calculated move, President Zelensky signed a decree pulling Ukraine out of the Ottawa Convention, a treaty banning the use of anti-personnel landmines. Ukraine cited Russia's widespread and often indiscriminate use of mines as the reason. This change may have serious humanitarian consequences, but Ukrainian officials argue it's a matter of survival in a war where the rules are already being broken. While the loss of Lieutenant Colonel Ustimenko was deeply felt, Ukraine's Air Force is in the process of integrating more Western aircraft into its arsenal, including a fleet of F-16s. These jets are expected to arrive from European allies later this year and could significantly bolster Ukraine's defense capabilities. So, what does it all mean? This latest attack shows that Russia is far from letting up, and that Ukraine's ability to defend itself still depends heavily on outside support. As the war enters its third summer, Ukraine continues to call on the global community, not just for weapons, but for sustained attention and solidarity. Thanks for watching. If you found this report helpful, don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit the bell for more updates on the war in Ukraine. Let us know in the comments. What do you think it will take to bring this war to an end?